HeLa cell contamination. Henrietta Lacks was born August 1st, 1920, in Virginia. She was raised by her grandfather, Tommy Lacks, after the death of her mother. She was raised with her cousin David Lacks, who would eventually become her husband. Henrietta was a poor tobacco farmer who had developed an intense case of cervical cancer.
During Henrietta's surgery, a small sample was taken, as this was done for all patients with cervical cancer. The sample was taken to Dr. Gray's lab to be processed by Mary Kernebeck. However, unlike the majority of cells that died, the HeLa cell line thrived and doubled daily. Thus, the HeLa cell line was born.
So good, this had to happen twice.
Dr. Gay,
Guy!
infatuated with his discovery, is eager to share HeLa with the world. He began sending HeLa to scientists all over the world for free. He developed a special method for shipping them long distance and shipped many as far as the other side of the world. Some scientists began to mass-produce HeLa and began selling them. HeLa had become one of the most popular cell lines in the world.
After years of research, some scientists discovered that the cells that they were using were not the cells that they actually ended up starting with. This made years of research garbage. HeLa cells spread as far to the Soviet Union. For example, Hayflick's wish cells showed genetic markers that linked his cells to HeLa cells. Cure for cancer was no longer valid. Also, spontaneous transformation did not exist, and this was one of the most famous theories of the day. HeLa cells became unstoppable.
Scientists used to be pretty disgusting in labs. They found HeLa cell residue was left on lab equipment. When scientists decided to start cell lines using other cells, they used equipment that had contained HeLa cells before. HeLa cells were literally everywhere. They had multiplied so much that they were floating around in the air within the labs. So eventually, they touched everything that was in those labs, including the scientists themselves.
Because HeLa was growing so much, more lab equipment was being utilized. Scientists had to learn to clean the equipment better after realizing that HeLa was everywhere. Not only that, but HeLa was in the air. The laboratories needed better ventilation systems to control this problem. Stricter rules were made for working within the labs. For example, no food would be allowed. Scientists actually used to eat their lunch with HeLa cells next to them, according to the book. Also, scientists did not have good hand-washing skills, as you have seen in the previous part of this video, so that had to change. Scientists were able to isolate the HeLa cells and discontinue the contamination issue. Well, not really.
When the problem was first discovered in the 1970s, Scientists were disappointed and confused. Millions of dollars were wasted, and hundreds of research studies were no longer valid. What was thought to be cancer cure breakthroughs became useless and fake studies. Turns out HeLa cells just contaminated other cells, which made it look like spontaneous transformation of cancer. According to a BBC News report on January 15, 2010, cell contamination is still a problem in cancer research. Scientists began to doubt their cancer research due to using the wrong type of cancer cells. This is still a very real problem today as it was back in the 70s. HeLa cells are not the only cells that have contaminated other cell lines. Well, according to HeLaTransfection.com, HeLa cells have contaminated about 10 to 20% of cell lines. This problem is very difficult to control, but nevertheless, HeLa cells have made great contributions to medicine.